daily trivia quiz program. So, I welcome you all to this quiz, and you can participate by answering the question. The rule of the game is the question will get displayed for some time. I will also read the question and explain what is required. Then, after that, you will be given 60 seconds. At the end of 60 seconds, we will actually check whether the answer is right or wrong. This process will actually improve your critical thinking ability. So without further ado, let's start our quiz today. And the first question is, in the year 1586, who introduced potatoes to England? And the time starts now. Friends, we all know that the potato is considered as the king of all the vegetable, and it is grown in tremendous quantity across the world in every country. In fact, potato is a staple diet, whether you are a vegetarian, non-vegetarian, or any kind of tarian. You need potato today. But there was a time when the potato was not readily available. In fact, it was introduced because of this colonization and shipping which happened in the Middle Ages. So potato was identified and it was introduced to a lot of countries including India. So let's find out who introduced potato to England, and eventually from England it reached all its colony. And the answer is Sir Thomas Herriot, and he brought the potato from Colombia. And this was a time when sailors were going and trying to find new islands, new continents, and that is the time when the potato was discovered in Colombia. It was brought back to London, where people relished the potato, and then from London it eventually reached all English colonies, and that's how we now call potato as the king of vegetables. All right, let's move to the next one. In the year 1736, who takes the measurement that confirms the Newton theory that the Earth was an ellipsoid and it's not a sphere? So who was that person who actually took the measurement for the very first time, proving the Newton theory? And the time starts now. So it's a common belief that the Earth is a globe. In fact, even if you buy a replica of Earth, a globe from the market, it will be shown as complete round. But that is not the fact. It is an ellipsoid. That means the two sides of the earth are not exactly a sphere. It is more like an orange, which is slightly pressed at the poles and slightly, coming out at the equator, and that is why it is called ellipsoid. And the first measurement to prove that earth is an ellipsoid, in fact Newton said that earth is not completely spherical. So who was the person who made that calculation measurement for the first time? Is the astronomer Andreas Celsius. Andreas Celsius was the first one to carry out the measurement. And whenever in science we make a hypothesis, that has to be backed by measurement. Therefore, whatever Newton hypothesized was subsequently proved by Celsius, that earth is actually a ellipsoid, not a sphere. Let's move to the next one. In the year 1828, who was elected the 7th US president? The time starts now. In the year 1828, US was still a new nation, and during their general election, the 7th president was elected. A very popular name, a great historic name to remember. Who was that person? Let's find out. President Andrew Jackson. He was, elected as the 7th president for United States, and very, very popular name. He brought in a lot of reforms, a lot of legislations which we still use. I mean, the US government still use those reforms. Let's move to the next one. In the year 1911, who invents air conditioning? The ACs, as we call them, and the time starts now. The artificial air conditioning is considered as the de facto facility that we expect in every building, in our homes, in our cars, in our offices, even in subways, in trains, in metro. So air conditioning is basically responsible for making comfortable life for all of us, for all the modern humans. Who invented this technology? Let's find out. And his name is Willis Carrier. You know the famous Carrier air conditioning? The same guy, the Willis Carrier. In fact, he created the entire scenario, created the mechanism how you can actually create air conditioning effect, which is without spoiling the quality of the air. You have to basically make it optimum for humans to survive comfortably, neither too hot nor too cold. So maintaining temperature, making sure the air is not laden with humidity, does not have any bacteria, purification, all of that is part of the air conditioning, which was invented by Carrier, Willis Carrier. Let's move to the next one. In the year 1967, who performs the first human heart transplant? 1967, and the time starts now. To completely take out the heart from your body and replace with a new one, you can imagine, how hard this operation is. If you take out the heart, the body will die basically. Even if you take out the heart for few seconds, there will be no life left in the body. In fact, whether the person is living or dead, we basically determine by noticing the beating of the heart. And if you are now taking out the heart, it will take some time. It will take at least half an hour to 1 hour to stitch back a new heart in your body. So it's a remarkable and very, very difficult operation which was conducted by this gentleman in the year 1967. So I will tell you more about it. However, this operation requires identification of the donor also, who body type resembles the patient's body type. So first of all, the major task is to find the donor who is either deceased or is actually having some issues, and he has willingly given his life, or he's given his heart to the person who is a patient, so that he can be revived and live for a healthy life. So that is number one. At the time of the operation, the body has to be put on a bypass or a artificial living environment, where even if you take out the heart, the body will not know that the heart is missing. So there has to be artificial equipment which will basically keep you alive. So all of this, and then after that, a precision operation. So it's a very, very tough operation even with today's standard. Who performed it first in the year 1967? It is Dr. Christian Barnard. I read about Dr. Christian Barnard way back in school, and he performed this operation in South Africa. And this is a very, very important trivia to know, to basically understand who performed the first open heart surgery and heart transplant, and that is Dr. Christian Barnard from South Africa. Let's move on to the next one. In the year 1971, war between two Asian countries broke out. Which was these two Asian countries? The time starts now. So 1971, which two Asian countries? This is the most simple question that I can ask. Let me give you the answer. And that is, of course, India and Pakistan. And the famous 1971 war, which broke out, started today, where the Indian forces invaded the eastern Pakistan, liberated the East Pakistan, and broke the Pakistan as a nation into two parts. One is Pakistan, which remains the Pakistan on the west side of India, and on the east side, there is a new country which emerged that is known as Bangladesh, recognized by United Nations. All that came out from this 1971 war between India and Pakistan. In the year 1984 Bhopal disaster, which company's pesticide plant leaked 45 tons of methyl isocyanate and other toxic compounds in Bhopal, India, killing roughly official tally is 2,259, unofficially 16,000, maybe more, and nearly 500,000 people got injured. Which was this company? And the time starts now. So this company actually flouted a lot of norms. They did not have safety measures, and when the gas leaked, a very poisonous gas, very lethal gas leaked. Uh, this was an urban environment. A lot of people were actually sleeping, and in their sleep they inhaled this poisonous gas and hence perished. Many died later after a few days, and many continue to suffer the aftermath of this poisonous gas. Which was this company? Let's find out. It was Union Carbide. Union Carbide is a chemical company, is an American company. They had a huge plant in Bhopal, and Union Carbide in fact became infamous because of the Bhopal tragedy. So next question is, in the year 2019, Google co-founder Larry Page and Sergey Brin announces that they are stepping down from the roles of the parent company Alphabet. So they were basically the founder, and they were also part of the board. They were stepping down from holding positions in the company, like a CEO or somebody like that. Who replaced both of them in 2019? And the time starts now. So Google, the superpower, IT superpower, which drives so many businesses, including YouTube and so much of hosting. the entire superpower of the company. The promoters actually decided to step down. Who replaced them? That was a simple question. In fact, if you're Indian, you should know the answer, but let me give you the answer. Of course, Sundar Pichai. Sundar Pichai joined Microsoft in Hyderabad when Microsoft opened their center in Hyderabad, and from there he moved his corporate journey within Google, and from there he actually stepped his journey into Google and reached the level of the person eventually replaces the CEO, became the CEO of Alphabet in the year 2019. So very remarkable progress, and it's a matter of pride for most of the Indian that Indian has now reached the level of CEO in a global corporation like Google. So friends, we have come to the end of our quiz today, the Mind Gym program. Do join me back tomorrow same time, and we will continue our journey in improving our critical thinking abilities. Have a nice time. Bye for now.